Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about a tool that I made to help if you have to remove the rear wheel on your Lectric XP. If you've tried to remove the rear wheel, or maybe you've seen some of the videos, it's a lot of tension that squeezes in on the rear axle, and so it makes it a little bit difficult removing and reinstalling your rear wheel. I ran across this problem when I took this is my wife's bike, when I took my bike and changed it out with a free wheel. I changed it from a 2814 to a 2811, which I'm glad I did because I think it fits my style of riding a lot better than the 14. 14 just was not a high enough gear for me. I'm keeping it on this bike, which is my wife's bike, because I don't think she needs that higher gear. But anyway, getting back to the tool that I made. This is the tool that I made to spread the rear fork out on the Lectric XP. And what it is, I had this laying around, this bolt that I'd used on a previous project. And so I said, well, I can make me a spreader using this. And once I got it in there and tried to use it, it kind of slipped around and everything. It was kind of hard to get it to do what I wanted it to do. But it's fairly simple. So I just got me some angles that I bought from Lowe's and pieced them together and made me these little T-looking deals that will hold it in place. I made one for one side and one for the other side. This is the receiver right here that receives the bolt. You put it in your rear fork and you just expand, take a wrench, and as you do this, it will expand it out and hold it in a position where it's easier to get that rear wheel in and out of the axle slot for the rear wheel. So the way it works is you take this piece and position it in such a way that it comes through and it rests on the rear fork, and then you take this other piece and you slide it in. Now once you get these in place, you use the bolt to expand it out and to get tension. And I covered these with your liquid rubber so I wouldn't have any metal parts touching the bike to scratch it or whatever. The screw that I'm using is fairly large, and you probably will not need to use one quite this large if you want to make one of these. But that's got it in place right there. You can also use a clamp. I have these clamps, and I've got a prong out so I can put the clamp in such, tighten down on it, and it holds everything in place, which makes it a little bit easier to handle it. Now everything's in place, and I get a wrench out and just put some tension on that, and it will hold the fork out so you can get that axle in and out. But it works. Release it. And we'll take it off. Work it out between your spokes. And there we go. And I took just some plastic dip. And I dipped these pieces in it so that it wouldn't scratch the bike. And then I used a lot of, I use heat tubing a lot. And so I went a step further and put some heat tubing on the ends of this metal just to further keep it from damaging your bike. And also put a little bit of here on the end, a little shrink tubing on the end. So that's basically what it looks like right there. And you don't have to use a screw this big. It just happened that I had one out that was this large. It had a little bit of I call it pump pipe. Just cut a little piece of pump pipe to receive it in here. So got that. Rather simple, but it works. I tried using the screwdriver like I saw a film of a guy did, and he said that that's what they do at Lectric, but I could not. I just felt like I was going to damage something. It just didn't feel right. I just felt like it was an opportunity for a mishap to happen. So I came up with this tool which spreads it out, works fairly well. Also, if you notice, I made these little stands right here. When you're retired like I am, you have a lot of extra time on your hands, so you have time to do things like this. So I made this stand, made one for my front wheel to hook into. It's relatively simple. Just rest and some slots that I put there. And this is relatively simple. Just made it so that got a board that will fit under my rack and keeps the wheel up. So that way you can work on your bike and it gives you the flexibility of running your motor whatever you want to because your wheels are off the ground. Anyway, I hope that this may give you some information on how to make one of these little tools. You know, it's relatively simple. I used liquid or epoxy. I use this JB weld, which is really just an epoxy, but it's supposed to be like a liquid metal. But I use it to kind of hold everything together. And along with that, I also used some rivets. These little rivets to hold things in place. And I built it up in such a manner and grinded it down so the rivets wouldn't project out and cause any damage to the bike. And I also wrapped this as much as I could because it's fairly heavy, and if you drop it, you can scratch your bike. So as long as you've got some protection there, I think you're okay. Well, I hope that you find this information may be helpful. Gives you some idea for maybe if you want to make one.
I will now go over the details to make the fork spreader tool. You can pick up these flat washers at Lowe's and you can buy them by the single. You don't have to buy them by the bulk. The same goes for these nuts. You can pick these up by the singles also. I recommend using a 1/2 inch diameter threaded rod. It needs to be 6 inches in length. You'll need to tap a hole in the end of the rod to receive a screw to attach to the T. You can pick up these pipe fittings by the singles at Lowe's. You only need one piece with a 5/8 inch inside diameter by 1 inch length. You will have to cut the pipe to length. The bottom of the T will be positioned parallel to the bike's fork and is used to clamp the tool to the fork. When attaching the corner braces to the T, there needs to be a 2.5 inch separation between the outer legs of the corner brackets to wrap to the forks between the outer legs.
Well, thank you for watching. I hope you found this information informative. If you want to make one of those tools, maybe this gives you some insight onto how to make it. Thanks for watching.